I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Yes or no? Did you ever take banned substances to enhance your cycling performance?
Yes.
I had no prior knowledge of the planned assault on Nancy Kerrigan.
I am deeply sorry for my irresponsible and selfish behavior I engaged in.
Welcome back to Hoops the Podcast. I'm sitting here with GIULIO Gallerati. Can I show you something?
Sure.
I saw this video and then I have a follow-up question. But let me preface for the let me preface for the audio listeners. This is a video of kind of a son secretly recording his dad, and his dad's having a meltdown, and we don't necessarily know why, but that's what this is.
I fucking deleted it! Oh my God! Help me! Help me! Help me, God! Oh my God! I deleted it! Oh my God! I fucking deleted it! No! How do I get it back? Oh God! How do I get it back? How do I get it back? Oh my God! I fucked myself in the ass! I can't believe I deleted it! Oh my God!
How viral is this? Can I see that? I
Yeah,
don't know.
it's going.
Man, I like think about this sometimes. Like if I were to accidentally delete something like super important, I like think about what would happen.
So yeah, that's what I wanted to know if you've had a situation like that, or what could he possibly be freaking out about?
Yeah, dude.
Like deleting, like it looks like he's on his TV. So I thought he maybe deleted like his Sky. I thought maybe he played video games. He deleted like a Skyrim, like his entire saved history of his character. But like maybe he deleted like a wedding video.
I don't know.
Or something saved on his TiVo.
Like, does he have a YouTube channel? That's the only thing I can think of that would like warrant that. Like, you truly can't get back. Meaning, like, it has all the views, it has all the this and the analytics, and now you just deleted it, which is absolutely crazy.
What do you think? Like, oh my God, like if your Instagram account just like accidentally got deleted.
But wouldn't you be able to like recover it?
If you can't.
Oh, you can't.
What if you can't?
Fuck.
Yeah.
Can you though?
I don't know, but in this scenario, if your Instagram account, like you just pressed the wrong button, you deleted it, and it's gone, would that be a reaction that you would have?
No. Mine would be much more internal. What about you?
I think I'd get vocal.
I could see you getting vocal.
I'd freak out. I feel so bad for him. He's really upset.
Did we figure out what it is?
No. I kind of love that. There's no follow-up. The kid ended up continued posting his regularly scheduled content.
Hilarious.
But yeah, that's I fucked myself in the ass.
If that's fake, that's amazing. Like remember that one account where the dude used to just like, it was like a video of a guy from afar doing stuff. Do you remember that? There's like a video of him on
a brother.
I don't even know. It's this. All right. For example, there's one where it's like, I'm on a roof of another building and I zoom in on this guy on the roof of another building talking to a girl at a party. And the guy's like, he's like mansplaining, it seems like. He's just talking a lot. And then he pauses and he leans in to kiss her and she turns away. And then it zooms in on him being like,
no.
And that's what these guys do. They like film these fake things, but like it feels real. So it was like influencers in the wild. It was on all this stuff. My cringe, but like it's fake on purpose.
Yeah.
Super meta.
In those videos, the cameraman is just as much a character, if not the main character. The zoom ins, the punch ins, like all of that has like life to it.
Totally, dude. Totally. Hey.
I'm just hanging out with the director. So
Just
I'm
hanging
trying to keep up with Mr. D. Yeah, I thought that was beautiful. Do you ever see The Greatest Freak Out Ever? The kid who stuck the remote up his butt with rage?
It wasn't when the guy ran over the PlayStation with a lawnmower.
It is the same guy, but the original video is him getting his World of Warcraft account suspended, or his parents took his computer away.
Yeah.
And he storms
it's fake.
in. Yeah.
Sadly.
Yeah.
It's amazing though.
I thought for a solid couple of years though,
100%.
everyone thought it was. I thought that everyone thought it was real until they kept making more, and then you could tell with like the with the video games. the dad runs over all of his games with the lawnmower.
Yeah. Oh, that wasn't even the first one, the video games with the lawnmower?
That was like the 10th.
Oh, okay.
And I'm still watching that like, damn, this guy's crazy. This poor family. This poor family. But in the first video, he sticks the Verizon Fios remote really far up his butt, or at least tries to.
That is so
with
funny.
the brother puts a hidden camera in the bedroom.
That's so funny, bro.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what else would make me freak out like that, or hopefully never. That seems like the lowest moment for this guy's life in this moment.
Yeah, like if somehow I were to just lose everything I've ever made and not be able to get it back, and it wasn't living online, I don't know what I would do. That would be pretty dark. I would go on, but it would not be easy.
You ever watch the OG Twilight Zone?
Yeah.
Did you see the one where I forget the name of it, but there's the nuclear bomb, and there's the guy that can't that has bad eyes, and he loves reading books, and all he wants to do is read his books, and then he goes into the vault of the bank that he works at. Coincidentally, a nuclear bomb explodes. He comes outside, everyone's gone, and he walks by the library, and there's just thousands and thousands of books, and he's so happy and content. Like, he doesn't care that it's the end of the world. He gets to read his books. It's all he wanted to do.
Does he know it's the end of the world?
Yeah, he walks out. He's like, my wife's dead, and I don't have my job anymore. Like, it was kind of opportunistic when he walked out. He's kind of excited.
But I thought he can't see.
He has bad seeing. He has
So
glasses.
how can he read?
He has bad seeing. And he's like, I'm so excited. And he goes and he looks down, and his glasses shatter. And they were like a specific prescription.
They were shattered?
They shattered right when he was like, time to read for the rest of my life. Because they fell off his head, and then they broke. And it just pans away, and he's just like, but I had so much time. And the camera pans away, and it's just him sitting on the staircase of what was the library, and just
chills.
Thousands of books.
Oh my God.
It's I love the OG Twilight Zone.
It's good.
But
wait, but so when he goes outside, how long had it been since the bomb had gone off?
I think pretty recently.
So he would have been fucked anyway.
Yeah, but it was
right, show.
If I remember correctly, he waits in the vault. It seemed like it was he came out right after it happened. But
dude, one-off like horror sci-fi shows are great, especially if it's not the same characters. I mean, I love the X-Files too, but like Alfred Hitchcock Presents, this thing. Also, Guillermo del Toro had like an 8-part show about like it was similar. It's called like The Mysteries or something. I don't know. There's a couple that are really good. Sometimes there can be duds, but those OG shows, more often than not, they were really good.
Yeah.
They were really
it's like
good.
a sketch show. There's going to be swing and misses, but there's going to be some really awesome stuff.
Exactly.
What was the show that you just mentioned?
Alfred Hitchcock Presents.
Alfred Hitchcock Presents.
It's the same as The Twilight Zone, basically, but it's just Alfred Hitchcock, like, is, obviously famous director or whatever. But he, at the beginning of each episode, he'd sort of give you a little, like, snippet. And it was also, like, funny.
Yeah.
He'd be like, today and it would be like some funny thing, and then like the craziest shit you've ever seen. Like,
yeah, I remember watching. Is it The Birds or Birds?
I think it's The Birds, right?
I think it's The Birds. I remember watching that, and I was like, "This is intense."
Yeah,
I would not want to be caught in this.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Also, like, Are You Afraid of the Dark? Like, they made a lot of those for like teenagers. Like when I was younger, at least. Are You Afraid of the Dark? Before your time, probably.
No, my sister, I saw a couple of them. I can't remember any specifically, but my sister watched that. She was obsessed with it.
It was Nick at Night. It was good. And Goosebumps was good.
Goosebumps was
those
good.
books too.
I read some of the Goosebump books. I read the camp and the dummy ones. And then, the OG Twilight Zone. Every New Year's Eve, there was a marathon on the Sci-Fi channel.
Oh, that's cool.
I think, was that a channel?
Yeah.
Sci-Fi?
I think it still is.
Yeah, the Sci-Fi channel, and it was they played every single episode.
Is it on Netflix or something? Like, I know Alfred Hitchcock was on Netflix for a bit.
I don't know. I think Twilight Zone is owned by Viacom. Who owns Viacom? I feel like that's a Paramount.
I think Viacom is the top.
Viacom is the conglomerate.
They own like MTV and shit.
Yeah, I know they tried to do a reboot of the Twilight. They've done it a couple times, but they did one with Jordan Peele during COVID, and it didn't do well. But I saw a couple of them. I thought they were good.
Interesting.
Yeah, there's some good airplane ones where they go back in time and they end up flying into like prehistoric dinosaur days.
Oh, cool.
And they're like in the air and they're like, oh shit, because like ground control's not answering. And then the captain makes like a really dramatic announcement. He's like, hello, we are not landing in Chicago today. Nice. We are landing. And then he got all meta with it.
That's my favorite part of that movie. Look Up is at the end where they end up on the planet with the animals, which like explains something they explained earlier in the movie.
Was Look Up the
Adam
McKay movie?
Yeah, I did not like that movie that much, but the ending I thought was funny. Like after the credits.
Oh, I didn't see that part.
Yeah. At the end, they end up on like a planet. The people who escaped end up on some random planet. But yeah, I wonder why like it's hard to get behind a series like that, because American Horror Story tried to do it, and to be honest, the level of the episodes was not that good. I didn't think it was as good as like the series, just like the one-off stories. But maybe we're just like in a time where that's like a tough format, and like before it wasn't for some reason. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, Black Mirror's really carved a corner.
It's true. Black Mirror does it well.
I think even a lot of people say that the new seasons aren't as good as the old, but they still do crazy numbers. People watch them, and they just said the new one's coming out in April.
Wow. I need to start watching that. I've only seen a couple of them. I think I'd like it a lot.
I would love, you do with it what you will, I would love to craft you a order in which I would suggest watching them.
Please. And maybe you can do it for all of our listeners too, if anybody hasn't.
Yeah, I'll do it for all of you before the new season comes out, because I've seen every single one. I feel strongly about all of them.
Okay.
And Jesse Plemons they're doing their first sequel to one of them, because this in season 3, USS Callistar. It's kind of like a spin-off of Star Trek, but it has this really crazy storyline, and then they're adding a sequel to it. Jesse Plemons will be in it.
How many seasons are there?
I think 6.
And how many episodes are in a season?
Some of them have 5, some of them have 3.
Cool.
Some of them I think season 4 has like 8.
Very cool. This could be a good Hill Dog out of town thing to do, because I think she might like some of them, but she might get freaked out by others.
Yeah. Well, until I put the list together, the 2 that I suggest highly is Nosedive, and that's season 3, episode 1, and then USS Callister.
So, but you think I should watch them in the order with which they're good?
The first episode is about the prime minister needing to do something really gnarly and sexual.
I think I've seen that one.
It's a weird. A lot of people watch the show not knowing it's an anthology, and so they see that. It's just a weird first impression of the show, because it's one of their more out there concepts.
Lynch, you're really on top of your vocab today for a guy who's sleep deprived.
Thank you.
Between reprehensible and anthology.
I love it. I love saying anthology.
Those are both
don't give me
top
don't
5
give don't
vocab usages.
I appreciate that. Don't give me credit. I made sure that I learned that word so I can say it. It sounds for exactly that
well done,
reaction.
dude. Well done.
But yeah, those 2 are great. That's a good. She's out of town. Some are gonna make you feel weird.
It's fine.
Throw on Detroiters
like
or something else
feeling.
after. It is a good feeling.
Like the Ex Machina feeling.
Yes. Have you seen a lot of them or just a couple episodes?
I've seen a couple and I don't remember them at all. And when I rewatch them, I may not even remember. That's how
Yeah. They're all little mini movies, and they're not all winners, but I think they're all worth watching.
Have you seen Alien Romulus?
No. I know you suggested it.
Fairly highly recommended to you.
Fairly highly?
Fairly highly recommended to you. The ending in particular is so fucking good. It's just like, wow, like this is sick. It's like a this is sick moment.
And it's my letterbox.
What'd you say? Yeah, add that shit, bro. Well, dude, I went to Connecticut this weekend. I had a show in Atlantic City, which was nice because I could come home afterwards. So like I had 2 shows. I actually didn't headline either of them either. Like it was just like an ensemble show that paid like okay and was just like enough to make it worth doing. So I went and it was nice. Didn't have to drive. Did 20-minute sets, like easy peasy. And then I'm back in bed. Great. Next day, and Hill Dog had just gotten back from California. So the next day we were going to go see her friends in Connecticut.
Mm-hmm.
So these are friends of ours from the city. They're very nice. They have a very cute little daughter, and they were living in a small apartment here. And they're like, we need space. We have a baby, like whatever. So they moved to Rowayton, which is a very nice town in Connecticut. And it was nice to go like spend the day with them. Like it's crazy to have that much space, dude. Like I don't think that, especially if you have a kid, like if you don't have a kid, like maybe I don't see how that would make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like currently for my life, and even like still for my life, it might be tough to like get me to move all the way out there. However, it was pretty cool. And like they're homeowners, they're like talking about homeowner shit. They're like good luck doing any change to your house that isn't $1,000 or more. I'm like, fuck, that's crazy. You also have to furnish an entire house, which is crazy. But this town's really cute, man. Like you can walk into the town from where their house is. Like it's like along the water. There's all these like nice little restaurants, very New Englandy. Like, but it was a vibe. It was cool.
That's great.
Yeah.
Did you guys, how did you guys spend your time?
So we kind of like, we got there and then we walked to the restaurant that we were going to go to. We hung out there for like an hour, or we like went, it was for an hour or two. Then we went back to the house and like hung out for like, just sat and like talked for like an hour and then we bounced.
That's
It
nice.
was a nice little afternoon.
Did they have a good like coffee table or congregating space?
Yeah. So
'Cause
they
you're
had
there
like,
for hours.
so dude, they had like a full on like TV room that was like a couple steps down from the main living room. But like the main living room didn't look like it was a place that no one went to. It was like seemed livable, but like the TV room was a vibe. I was like, damn, this is sick.
Really?
This would be sick for like watching football or whatever. Yeah, it was cool, man. It was like it was a fun to kind of dip your toes into what life could look like, you know?
Yeah. Connecticut too, that like the coastal part of it. It's absolutely stunning. And I think it's slightly slept on.
Yeah, I agree. I was thinking about that. I'm like, Connecticut is sort of like geographically handicapped in a unique way, but there is still a shoreline, and it's actually a unique shoreline because it's the Sound. So it's like different than the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
My whole life, I was always like, the ocean is like far better, which may still be true, but like the Sound is nice, dude.
Yeah. The beaches are a little rockier and a little thinner, but it's a real deal beach.
There's a lot of jellyfish though. I remember noticing.
Mm.
Isn't that interesting?
That is.
Maybe not all of the beaches, but the place. So like growing up, the town that I come from is like, it's like leaning blue collar. And we weren't close to any, but we were like sort of close to nice towns. So like the other town from our school district was like nicer than ours. And as you continued in that direction, the towns just got nicer and nicer. And then there's this like whole shoreline, and all those towns are obviously nice.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't even realize that growing up, that the school that I went to was like the shitty town in the conference, like, which is interesting. Like I never thought of it that way, but it was true. I wonder if the other kids were aware of that. But yeah, like there's all these little nice towns. Like what, when you think of coastal Connecticut, what towns do you think of?
Milford.
Okay.
I think of
Milford has a beach.
Yeah. Milford. New Haven.
New Haven has a beach.
I think they have. I mean, like it's on the water. I can't think of. When I think of beach, I think of Milford. That's the the one where I spent most of the time. And Norwalk has a little beach.
Okay. And Rowayton is like technically part of Norwalk. Okay, cool. Yeah. So like what I'm referring to is more sort of up, like northeast up the coast. So like, you know, let's say Milford's here, like these towns that I'm familiar with are more up here as you get closer to Rhode Island. So yeah, in my head, I want to be like Connecticut is geographically limited, but it is pretty still, like, especially Western Connecticut is like has like really cute, nice towns, like all along too, not just Fairfield County, which is the county that's close to New York. Like as you go up north, like Litchfield County, like
Randolph, is that a town in
probably,
Connecticut?
yeah.
I think one of our, Vic's cousins lives there. We drove through it. It's the most adorable little town.
Let's see, Randolph. I don't see it actually. I don't see Randolph, Connecticut. But Connecticut's interesting too, because like, you know, I would say the vast majority of the part of Connecticut west of the Connecticut River is quite nice for the most part. I mean, the cities in Connecticut are sort of not that great, notoriously. So like, you know, Hartford, New Haven. New Haven has some charming stuff. I would say New Haven's the best city in Connecticut, but like, you know, Waterbury, Hartford, these are sort of like dumpy places, honestly. Bridgeport. Besides those, most of the towns west of the Connecticut River are very nice. Once you get east of the Connecticut River, there is not a ton of great stuff. Along the shoreline, there's some okay stuff, and Mystic is like kind of cute.
I think Mystic is a little dream.
Mystic is nice. And then like the stuff that's right across the river, like Old Lyme, the Limes, I guess Waterford. New London is sort of like an industrial town, not so nice. And then like, you know, Glastonbury is a nice town. But besides a couple of those, man, it starts to just be like really podunky.
Yeah, I think around the Mystic area, anywhere north of there, I'm not too familiar with. I haven't spent a lot of time there.
Yeah, I mean, thank God there's that casino there. I mean, before then, it's like, fuck, like Norwich is like not great. Willimantic is like scary. There's just like, it's like woody, and the stuff that isn't woody is just like shitty. It's just weird. And it just goes to show, man, like not having proximity to like a happening area is challenging for a place.
Yeah.
So you're kind of in this dead zone. And I'm sure at some point, like when Hartford was more in its glory days, like you could live around in some of these places and there was more going on, but it appears that these days not so much. So anyway, I don't know.
I think they lived in Ridgefield.
Oh, Ridgefield is really nice.
Yeah, Ridgefield. That's what I meant to say. I said Randolph. Yeah, Ridgefield's beautiful.
Those little towns, man, in that area are some of the nicest towns in the country. As far as like, you know, it's mostly commuter people. Obviously, New York's a huge city with like tons going on. So, like, you know, the people who make it big there, they move to these towns that are right outside of the city. And I think that there's some benefits. I think property taxes are low in Connecticut. So there's like an incentive to live there or something like that. There's like some of the tax categories. So like these towns like Greenwich and Westport and Ridgefield, they're amazing. They're like incredible.
They're beautiful. There's Garrett Cole from the Yankees. He lives in Greenwich, Connecticut. And I don't think he owns like an apartment in the city so that he can get to the stadium closer after a late game. I think he goes home every single night.
Yeah.
And I'm just curious logistically how a major league or how a professional athlete can consistently get to their facility with traffic, or do they take a helicopter in? The Stamford area is a really bad traffic spot.
Yeah.
All the time.
So, okay. So there's a couple of things that are interesting about this. So I've always found it interesting the way that professional athletes in New York don't live in the city. I think A-Rod was like the only guy that I can think of who like famously lived in like Trump Tower or whatever, like that building on Central Park West. So, and I'm like, why is that? I guess if you're like a big fucking guy, maybe like living in an apartment's weird for you, or maybe it's hard to be high profile and live in the city, or you have a family, or I don't know, but like a lot of them live in like New Jersey and like Alpine or like, I guess
Palisades
Palisades. Like not, do people live in the city?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of privacy, but I'm pretty sure Judge lives in the city. I'm
Really?
pretty sure Volpe lives in the city.
Judge full-time lives in the city.
He has a house in Tampa. So I think during the season, he's living in the city.
His apartment.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Or his penthouse.
Yeah. And like, but I'll tell you why. So first of all, and I think this is true for the Knicks too. The Knicks don't practice in Madison Square Garden. They practice somewhere else. And I think it's in like Westchester. So I mean, look this up because this matters for what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
So it starts to turn into like a logistics thing. So it's like, where can I live that's close to the place I need to go to do the stuff I have to do every day, right? So if you're in a practice facility, it's on the west.
Terrytown.
Okay, which is in Westchester.
Yeah.
Okay, so for example, so you're in Terrytown. Now, you could live in Westchester in a big house, which I'm sure a lot of those guys do. New Jersey, maybe there's some reason for taxes or whatever. Living in New Jersey makes more sense. You pop right over the George Washington Bridge, you're right there, like sort of. So like it makes it make more sense where actually living in Terrytown, if you're in the city, getting to Terrytown is more annoying. Especially if you want to drive yourself, you have a garage, you have a guy, you have a fucking this or that. It's annoying as shit. So the same way for Gareth Cole, you're in the Bronx playing and practicing. So you're actually not far from the Bronx in Greenwich because that's an extra 10 miles up. That's only like 25 miles, dude.
Yeah, let's see what that looks like.
It might be 20 miles. So even if there is traffic, if you have a driver or even if you're driving yourself, it's just not a bad drive. Even if it takes an hour, not a big deal. Especially because like a lot of that traffic has to do with once you get past the Bronx. So like once you're in on the West Side Highway and that jams up, like you don't have to deal with any of that.
Mm-hmm. It's 28 miles.
Yeah, dude.
And it's only right now it's 35 minutes without traffic. But what about, the traffic that you don't know is coming yet? Like, how do they ensure that they get there every single time? Never have seen, this player isn't playing today. He got in late.
So I think you're like giving the traffic too much credit from that when it's 28 miles. Like it's not going to take, there's no world where it takes 2 hours unless there's like a colossal crash. You know what I mean? Like unless traffic is fully a parking lot and people are getting out of their cars and looking to see what happens, which doesn't happen often, thank God. But unless that's happening, I mean, you're going to get there, you know?
Yeah.
Even if there's traffic.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I think too, like, yeah, I mean, Greenwich is just like, you can get a crazy house, blah, 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 blah.
And the schools are great. You have a backyard. And so,
Yeah, that's all true.
yeah, I was just thinking about that because maybe I do give it a little too much credit, but it just seems like it's very easy for things to go wrong and get out of your control. And so I was wondering if they do anything to mitigate that and make sure that no matter what, they get to be at the stadium. But I guess it's not that big of a deal.
I wonder if he drives himself or not. Because if he's not driving, the guy probably gets there early. He probably sits in the car, dicks around his phone. But it's an interesting point about. I had something interesting to say. Pause for a sec. The car, the commute. Oh, so it's interesting. You say there's great schools. I always wonder about that. Like, I think that, and this may be true still, but like, if you're a fucking super wealthy person, like, I wonder if you think about that. Because there's great schools thing is a person who like thinks it's a reach to pay for private school. So they move a place where the schools are good. You know what I mean? Do like, if I'm Gareth Cole or whatever, and I'm worth however millions of dollars, like I can send my kid to any school, including if I'm in Greenwich, like I don't have to send him to Greenwich High School. I can send him to fucking whatever, Rye Country Day or whatever school that people send their kids to from there that are like fancy. So I wonder if people think about that still. Oh, it's a good school district.
What, in terms of like, oh, we should move here over here because it's a good school district? Because
like that's the thing you hear about people who move to the suburbs a lot of the time. They're like, you know, private school in New York City, you're paying $50,000 by the time they're in kindergarten. Like that's crazy, blah, blah, blah. So, you know, we moved here where the schools are good and this and that.
Yeah. I think that's really important for a lot of people. Vic's sister, they took that into account when they moved out of their one town into the other. They're like, we got in, and they were real. Like it was a big value driver for them, was that the schools are really good in this particular part of Massachusetts.
Interesting. Yeah, man. I wonder, like, I'm thinking about that now, like my kids, whatever. Like you look like a guy like Roger Federer. He has 2 sets of twins, by the way, which is a feat that should not be overlooked. No in vitro or whatever it's called. Like no IVF. Like those are 2 natural sets of fucking twins, bro. That's crazy.
The statistics on that
gotta be. The dude is God. If you don't think he's the GOAT, there it is. Case in point. Federer just blasting twins every time. So he travels with his whole family. So he now is on this sort of like, he's reached sort of Dalai Lama status where he just travels around and waves as his job. Hey, I'm
Show
here.
face.
He's everywhere all the time. And
he just waves.
I don't know if this is like baked into his contract because he has all these like brand deals that he signed when he was 37. Like his career was clearly over and like, or was going to be over, and they're 10-year deals. So like, I don't know if part of that is like he has to be everywhere as a brand ambassador, or maybe he's just having fun. But he's at everything. He's at the Taylor Swift concert. He's at the Super Bowl. He's at Formula One. He's constantly waving, and he brings his kids with him. So I think about it. I'm like, will there ever be a day where like my shit is so poppin' that my kids are gonna have to come with me? Like, say I want to do a Pacific Island video series, and I'm going to go to Palau, and I'm going to go to the Marshall Islands or wherever, all these places, and I now need to be stationed out there for 6 months to do this shoot. And I'm going to bring my family. You know what I mean? Like how well I would have to be doing to be able to justify uprooting my family to do that. It may not happen. Like Hill Dog, I think Hill Dog's career is always going to be big enough that like there's no, how big I'd have to be to make her want to not work anymore would be crazy.
Yeah.
I don't see it happening.
Yeah.
So I'm like, so what am I going to do? Couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. Cross the bridge when we get to it.
And I feel like in the DNA of our partners, they really like to work too. So like, it's got to be like, I don't even know if it's necessarily all about the money too.
Yeah.
Like it's part of their DNA. At least if I'm speaking out.
You feel that way about Victoria?
I feel that way about Victoria.
I don't know if I feel that way about Hillary.
Gotcha.
But I also don't know. Like she seems to think that like if she has a day at home and like she has a great day at home and she does home stuff and she's like, I could do this full time. Cause I'll be like, is there an amount of money that you could make where you wouldn't work anymore? And she's like, yes, but I don't know to what degree. Usually she's right in what she thinks about how she's going to feel about stuff, but she's not always right. So I wonder to what degree after a couple of weeks, she might get bored and wants to do some new thing. And maybe like, who knows, maybe she'd transition into like
comedy.
Oh no, dude, imagine. She transitioned into some like classic, lady who's at home who's like still really competent thing, like charity or something. Who the fuck knows? But yeah, I'm not holding my breath. I don't see that happening. But, you know, not to undermine myself. I think I intend to do very well, but I don't know if it'll ever get to that level. I think to get to that level, there has to be some kind of je ne sais quoi involved, something that you cannot control.
Like the algorithm.
Whatever it is. You know what I mean?
One algorithm push.
Some sort of star aligning situation.
Going to get discovered.
I remember a big fashion designer once told me this. He was like, he was talking about all the things that led to his success. Then he's like, but you also got to get lucky. And he's like, this is how I got lucky, like X, Y, Z. And I was like,
Give you the formula?
yeah. I was like, yeah, the luck is the thing that you cannot control.
Yeah. I think that should be a bit. The wave status.
Oh, yeah.
That's funny, dude.
He's the fucking Dalai Lama, bro. So, yeah, like he just travels with his whole family. And he has like teachers and they're like flying jets all over the world. Like crazy life.
It's a good, I don't know if that's a good, it's a fiscally fortuitous life.
Nice for Lynch.
Is that the right word?
Fortuitous, yeah.
What does that word mean?
Fortuitous means like it's a good break for you. Like a good, it's, yeah.
Sweet.
It's a good thing. It's a good situation.
It's fortuitous.
I wonder what the actual definition is because I know what it means, but I just struggle to explain it. Like, fortuitous turn of events, like when things worked out for you. You know.
Oh, I have the odds of having two separate sets of twins naturally. It's 1 in 1,000.
To naturally have two sets of twins? Oh, that's not even that crazy.
That seems
1 in 1,000
0.1%.
seems
That seems pretty. I was gonna say that seems pretty high.
It does, right?
The natural twin birth rate is about how much percent in the U.S.?
1?
3.2.
Damn. It's a lot of twins.
Yeah.
3 out of 100 is a lot. But does that mean 1 in 33?
1 in 31.
Jesus. That's a lot, bro. There's a lot of fucking twins. So wait, that can't be because you're telling me that 1 in 33. So what percentage is that? So 3%. So that would mean that let's say there's 400 million people in America. That would mean that there's 12 million twins in the country. It's a lot of twins, dude. It's an army of twins.
Do you know any twins?
Yeah. I actually know a triplet. I don't know her that well, though, but I do know her.
I went to school with triplets.
Do I know twins? I know a couple. Yeah, I know a couple twins.
The U.S. has an estimated 1.6 million sets of twins. So 3.3 million people are twins.
All right, so these numbers aren't adding up. But.
As of recent estimates, about 3.2% of all births in the U.S. result in twins. Given that around 3.6 million babies are born in the U.S. each year, that means roughly 120,000 twin births annually, or 60,000 sets of twin.
Very interesting, Lynch.
How much does an unexpected twin throw a wrench into things financially for people? Like, obviously it's double, but like the emotional toll, that's got to be a really scary situation.
I think so. I don't know, obviously, but I think that one of the other things that goes into it is just how different it is. And also, like, there's things that twins know about that, like, other people don't know about. Like, it's like a special thing. So it's, like, hard to wrap one's mind around, oh, I had in my mind what parenting was going to be like. Obviously, not all things are exactly how you think they're going to be, and there'll be surprises along the way, and you know that. But twins is, like, amplifying that, has to be amplifying that feeling of the unknown even more.
Yeah.
And now suddenly, you know, especially if this is your first kid and now instead of having one, you just have two, you're just getting thrown into the fucking fire, you know? So I don't know. And then like, yeah, like you got to think about, but twins have this like really special bond apparently, where it's like a really nice thing actually I've heard, where you like have this sixth sense for each other or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's crazy.
Yeah. I had a friend group growing up. They were twins. They liked each other a lot. And I went to school with triplets. They did not like each other.
Interesting.
The three of them were complete polar opposites, different squads, different crews. And I was friends with one of them, and I'd go to their house. They would fight a lot. So triplets is, I can't even fathom carrying 3.
Yeah.
So I
Dude,
hear about just one. Seems like too much.
it's crazy. Dude, so one thing I wonder, like my brother and I have very similar like expressions and stuff. So like we'll react to stuff the same way. We'll say stuff the same way. It's like crazy actually. When you watch it, you're like, what the fuck? I'm like watching myself. And I wonder like to what degree, and I know there's a documentary about this, which I've seen that's very good. I don't remember if they talk about this or not, but like if my brother and I were to have been separated at birth and later reconnected, would we still have the same mannerisms and gestures and behavior? Would we just have some, but not all? You know what I mean? Would there be like certain instinctive things like when we fake laugh?
Yeah.
But like, what if he grew up in a place where now he has an accent? Like, obviously, we're not going to talk exactly the way that we currently do. You know what I mean? It's kind of weird.
It's very weird. It's weird picturing. I'm picturing my brother having a different reaction, like a different laugh, or having the same laugh. They're both equally weird for different reasons. Yeah, that's odd. I don't know.
It's weird. So yeah, I'm not sure. I don't fully know the answer to that.
I don't know.
But cray.
We have any more? We got so many spam emails this week.
Really? I didn't even notice. Thank you for going through them.
We keep getting this different like credit line, and now we're getting like scary stuff. Like if you click on the link, like trying to hack our accounts and stuff. So there's a couple. Somebody ripped the 1-800 phone number video. Some insurance guy ripped it, and he has hundreds of thousands of likes on it. And now people are going back to the original video, and that's why we're getting more and more emails.
That is like one of
trying
the.
to spam
How many
us.
views does that video have, by the way?
8.6 million.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
and people are still going crazy.
Viral as shit.
Viral as shit.
All right, guys, good shit. Check out my special. It's on YouTube. Comment, like, share it, all that shit. I'd love to get it to a place where it's like a suggested thing so it can really take off. It's one of those things that will actually impact my life like very significantly if it were to do really well. So thanks for all your support. Appreciate it. Come see me on the road. Obviously, I have Chicago tomorrow, 2 shows at the Den Theater. If there's still tickets left, grab them. Also, I have Providence the 19th and Portsmouth, New Hampshire the 20th. Now Julio.com for tickets. Hit us up, Oops Podcast, at oopspodcast@gmail.com. At Oops Podcast, oopspodcast@gmail.com for your emails. Comment, like, subscribe, all that stuff. Lynchy.
Ryan's really play. Thank you guys. Have a great weekend.